Chapter 3: The Love of Tomas Cipriano Mascara. The changing political situation of the country, accelerated by the expulsion of Simón Bolívar in 1830, and the appointment of his brother Joaquín as President of the Republic, seemed to offer hope to Mariana, since Mascara announced his return to the country. Indeed, he returned through Panama. But there, faced with the dictatorship of Rafael Urdaneta, the overthrow of his brother, and the separation of the Cauca territories and their annexation to Ecuador, he changed his plans. Instead of returning home to Popayan, he traveled to the United States and Europe. The blow for Mariana could not have been greater, and it continued to be so, because her brother-in-law Manuel José had to send Mascara money to cover his expenses, which seriously affected the family's financial stability. In response to Manuel José's complaints about risking the family fortune and abandoning his household, Mascara complained that Marianita did not write to him, accompanying this complaint with overly sweet phrases, full of cynicism, thinking only of her. Any thread becomes a beam, and I begin to suffer, and regarding the danger to the family estate. His cynicism was even greater. It is necessary that she be a woman of business, and not merely a housekeeper, as they usually call, an excellent lady of the house. His travels in Europe were undoubtedly formative. He received military instruction, attended scientific meetings, expanded his geographical knowledge, and learned languages. And as expected for a man like him, he also formed connections with French and Italian nobility. These activities did not prevent him from living a dissipated life, similar to the one he had lived in South America. This allowed him to broaden his aesthetic horizons to extremes that led him to compare Italian women with Colombian women. Drawing conclusions, he expressed to Pedro Alcantara Herren how ugly Colombian women are. If they all resembled the pretty ones, I swear to you that I would be more chaste than Saint Indelicio. What exists, generally speaking, are prostitutes, yellow and ugly. These were not his only concerns. He remained well informed about the political situation in New Granada, which motivated his return to the country. In 1832, his political calculations were accurate, and as expected, they included his family. This became evident in a letter written to Pedro Alcantara Herren, his travel companion in Europe, in which he subtly offered the hand of his daughter Amalia, who was only 12 years old, while Pedro was 35. Of Amalia, he wrote, "She is very good, gentle, and beautiful." The subtlety was not lost. Herren replied in Italian, and his response leaves no doubt that he accepted becoming the general's son-in-law. For me, it is the same to wait 5 years as 50, but you forget, my dear friend, that I am a poor old man who possesses nothing but a good heart. This heart, entirely yours, the young lady deserves to be as happy as her worthy mother, and therefore to have a husband similar to my excellent Count Tomas. I return your tender friendship by assuring you that my will shall always be yours. At the same time, I respond to my own feelings. The political use of his daughter was undoubtedly one of Mascara's best calculations, considering that General Pedro Alcantara Herren was destined to become one of Colombia's most important political figures and would be his principal ally in his ambitions to reach the presidency. This use of his daughter for political ends, and her acceptance of it, has led some historians to view Amalia as a prototype of female submission in the 19th century. Mascara's return to Cauca and his reunion with his family after 3 years meant that he resumed business activities related to the production of his estates in order to recover his diminished fortune. At the same time, he developed an important political career, which brought him to Parliament with the support of the inhabitants of his province. This resulted in a new separation from his family and gradually transformed him into a notable political figure. However, as his political prominence increased, his marital relationship deteriorated to the point that he requested a diplomatic post in London. His distance from his wife became clear. In a letter he wrote in 1837, To his brother Manuel Jose, Mariana will not come willingly, as I have seen. So I tell you that I am almost resolved not to bring her out of Popayan and to learn how to live without her, for rather than living like dogs, it is better to be apart. The position in England was not granted to him. Instead, he was appointed commander of the first column of the army. This placed him alongside Heron in the control of the province of Bogota, where his friend was governor. Once again, his public life came at great cost to his family, especially to Dona Mariana. Mascara explained this in a letter dated November 28, 1837. I will see how to arrange my affairs so that I may leave as soon as possible, but I cannot abandon everything immediately. I am forced to leave my family, because if Mariana comes, everything will be destroyed. I am very pleased that you and I are in charge of that province. This is necessary. According to my calculations, our public lives have resembled each other for several years, and we now meet again on the same path. The year 1838 was decisive. Together with Heron, Masquera prepared the army to confront Jose Maria Obando. These preparations took place amid strong rumors in Popayan, where people spoke not only of the coming war, but also of a romance between Amalia Masquera and Heron. Heron referred to his fiancée in one of his letters. Everyone has asked me about Amalia. I have told them of her progress. Give her my affectionate regards. By the end of 1839, the two generals had largely secured the political situation of the country and subdued Obondo.